Hello friends and welcome to this session for GATE and ESC Electrical Engineering. My friend, this session is going to be one of the most awesome session and you are going to really learn something very new and something that will help you in the exam. In the exam for GATE, may it be 2021 or it may be 2022. Now, before we start the lecture, my friend, let me introduce you myself. My name is Ankit Goyal. I got AIR 1 in GATE 2014 and GATE 2018. And my friend, I was also awarded the President of India Gold Medal by the President himself in the year 2013 when I graduated from IIT Indore. Presently, I am working as a director at an academy for GATE department, and that is why constantly I am able to bring new and more initiatives for you. Because an academy is not an institute. An academy is not a coaching. An academy is more of a revolution. An academy is more of a feeling. An academy has everything right that is wrong with every other coaching institute in the country. The name An Academy, my friend, has been comprised of two words, un and academy. That means it has everything that is not there in an academy. So an academy cares about the student in the best way possible. It cares about the student most than or more than any other person can. All the initiatives are centered on the student. That is, they are always working towards the student welfare. And that is why, my friend, you are watching this course on power system. That is why, my friend, you are watching this course on power system free of cost on our YouTube channel. So my friend, if you are visiting this channel for the first time, make sure that you have subscribed, because we have electrical machine, power electronics, power system, communication system, EMT, EDC, network, signal, control, digital, everything is here on this channel, that too free of cost, my friend. But what has An Academy done? An Academy has brought a revolution in the country where they are providing the most affordable education, and that too free of that too at the most affordable price, as well as free of cost on YouTube. So my friend, if you want to be a part of the revolution that An Academy has created by means of the courses that are running on An Academy, where they are bringing you the best ever educators of the country on a single platform. That is, you, my friend, can be able to learn from India's top educator at the cheapest or at the most affordable prices possible. At the most affordable prices possible. Now, my friend, I'm talking to you. You can dare to dream. You can dare to enter a PSU. You can dare to dream about MTech from an IIT. Why? Because An Academy has made it possible. An Academy has done everything that is required to get the best rank in GATE examination. So my friend, if you want to join An Academy, make sure that you use the code Ankit ESE, because the door to An Academy opens with this code, and this directly makes me your mentor, so that I can guide you at each and every step regarding your GATE preparation. And not only this, you will also get 10% discount on your subscription. Now, what does An Academy bring for you? Not only the live classes. The live classes are the best part of An Academy, where you can interact with the educator, ask your doubt, and make sure that you understand each and every concept, and then only exit the class. But other than that, you get dedicated doubt session, where you can post a pic of a question and ask any doubt, any number of doubts. Then you have weekly quizzes. Every Sunday we test how much you have understood. Then there are daily practice paper which we provide you for practice. Then there are practice questions from An Academy. Then there are test series from An Academy. Then there is crash course, where we will boost your rank in the last few months. There is rank improvement batch for the students who have already done well in the GATE examination. Now, my friend, all of this just with one subscription fees, where you don't have to pay anything again and again or anything extra. That is the magic of An Academy. Just join An Academy without thinking too much.
Hi guys. Up to now, whatever we have covered in power system was mostly concentrated around the generation and the transmission aspect. So we were learning how the power is generated in the generating stations, as well as how the power is transmitted using transmission lines from the generator to the power substations. Now various substations will transmit the power to the load by means of distribution system. So they will be actually distributing the power to the loads. So what is a distribution system is? It is a system specifically designed to distribute power to different type of load. Now it is basically divided into two categories. One is called as DC distribution, other is AC distribution. Now, as we all know, in our homes, whatever power we use is in the form of AC. Then what is the basic purpose of a DC distribution? Actually, DC distribution acts as a backup in the generating stations and the substations. Suppose somehow the power goes off, then all the equipments that are operating in such a substation must be protected. They must have a reliable power supply so that they do not turn off instantly. Okay, otherwise they will experience a power surge or they will experience a sudden power down. That is not desirable, so we maintain a backup in the form of DC distribution. Okay, so it is used as backup in generating station, whereas AC distribution is actually supplied to the consumer, so it is used for public utility. It will be supplied to the medium consumers, that is the industries, as well as small consumer, that is the households, by means of either single phase 2 wire or 3 phase 4 wire. Okay, so DC distribution is only used for generating station and substation, whereas AC distribution is used for general public utility. Now, when we are supplying power to the load, there are two possibilities, that at both ends of the line there are sources or only at one end there is a source. So let us first consider the case when the source is only connected at one end. So it is said as source fed from one end. So as you see here, we have applied a battery at one end. Then we have connected three motors M1, M2, M3 as loads on the distribution system. Now this system is represented something like this. This arrow here marks the current that is being injected. This is the voltage of the supply, and the loads are represented as constant current load. That is, they are drawing certain current from the transmission line or from the distributor. So now, since this is drawing current I3 by KCL, current in this section should be I3. So current in CD section should be I3. Now here current is I2, this is I3. Current in BC section should be I2 plus I3. Then here current is I2 plus I3, here it is I1. Current in AB section must be I1 plus I2 plus I3. Now, as I told you in the earlier classes also, the critical design criteria in distributor is the voltage drop, because all loads must be supplied at the rated voltage, so the voltage drop from the source to the load must be minimum. Hence, one of the challenges or one of the problems while solving a distributor is to find the voltage drop from the source to the load. So now, if you see the actual circuit, suppose this is the resistance, let us say this is the length L1, length L2 and length L3. Now we know in a transmission line all the parameters are distributed, so resistance will be resistance per unit length. Okay, so this we let us call it as R. So resistance of AB will be actually 2R into L1, because RL1 resistance will be here and RL1 will be here, since it is a single phase 2 wire line, or even in a DC distributor there will be 2 wires. So resistance will be taken as double, that is 2RL1. Okay, though it may seem from here that the resistance should be RL1, but there will be voltage drop when the current will be coming back in this section. So you have to consider the twice the resistance to account for the voltage drop in the second wire also. Okay, so this resistance is called as loop resistance. Okay, because there is a voltage drop in the forward conductor as well as in the return conductor. Similarly, RBC will be 2RL2 and RCD will be 2R L3. Now suppose we apply KVL to determine the voltage drop. Then voltage drop in the section CD will be 2R L3 into I3. Sorry, this will be voltage across CD. Then voltage across BC will be 2RL2 multiplied by I2 plus I3. Similarly, voltage across AB will be 2RL1 multiplied by I1 plus I2 plus I3. So if we wish to determine VAD, that is the total voltage drop in the distributor, it will be VAB plus VBC plus VCD. So this is the way in which we determine the voltage drop in the distributor from the source to the load. Okay. The only thing that you need to remember here is you need to consider the loop resistance in case in the question it is mentioned that the conductor resistance is, let us say, R. So the resistance that you will consider will be 2R. But suppose if in the problem resistances are mentioned something like this, 2 ohm, 3 ohm, 7 ohm, then this is actually the loop resistance by default. Okay. So you have to double the resistance if and only if it is mentioned in the problem that it is a conductor resistance, because we know to maintain the supply we need 2 conductors. So to count for the voltage drop you have to take 2 times the resistance. Okay. But if only the resistance is given, that is by default your loop resistance. Now suppose we take the case of AC distribution. Now in AC distribution there are 2 type of problems that can be framed. In the first problem we will be given the voltage at D. VD is known. Now suppose these are 3 type of loads. Let me say that this load is load 3, let us say it has unity power factor. Load 2 has power factor cos phi 2 lead and load 1 cos phi 1 lag. Okay, since this is AC, so the loads will have different power factor. Now if VD is known, let us say VD is equal to VD angle 0. Then since current I3 has unity power factor, I3 will be I3 angle 0. It will have the same phase as the voltage because it has a unity power factor. So the voltage and current must have the same phase. Now if we wish to determine VC, it will be by KVL VD angle 0 plus Z3 angle theta 3 into I3 angle 0. This will be your voltage at point C. This will come out to be some VC angle theta C. That is the angle of the voltage at point C. Now this load is given cos phi 2 lead. That means current leads the voltage by an angle phi 2. Okay. Leading power factor only means that the current is leading the voltage. Then what should be the current angle? It should be phi 2 more than the VC. That is current will be I2 angle theta C plus phi 2. It is leading the voltage by an angle phi 2. So VB will be VC angle theta C plus I2 angle theta C plus phi 2 plus I3 angle 0 into Z3 angle theta 3. Now why I have added the currents? Because current in section B3 will be sum of I2 and I3. IBC will be I2 plus I3 as we saw in the previous case. Similarly, ICD will be equal to I3, this is just KCL, and IAB will be equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Okay, just I am applying KCL, so we know the current in each and every section. So this will give me a voltage of the sort VB angle theta B. That is the voltage at point B with its phase. Now we know the load connected at point B draws a current I1 at a power factor of cos phi 1 lag. That is, I1 will lag VB voltage by an angle phi 1 because it is a lagging power factor load. Then what shall be the equation of current I1, or what is the phase and magnitude? It will be I1 is equal to I1 angle theta B minus phi 1. It is lagging voltage by an angle phi 1. So what is the voltage at A? It will be VB angle theta B plus I1 angle theta B minus phi 1 plus I2 plus I3 into Z1 angle theta 1. So this way we will calculate the voltage at the supply if the voltage at the load is given. But the necessary condition is, since we are starting from the load voltage must be known beforehand. But suppose in case the load voltage is not given, then what to do in such a case? In such a case, what we will do is, we will assume a common reference for all the currents. That is, I will uniformly say that I3 is I3 angle 0. Then I2 will be I2 angle minus phi 2. Sorry, plus phi 2, it was leading. I1 will be I1 angle minus phi 1. Okay. I have assumed all the currents with respect to 0 reference. Now if you wish to calculate VAD, you will do VAB plus VBC plus VCD, which is equal to VAB will be IAB Z1 angle theta 1 plus IBC Z2 angle theta 2 plus ICD Z3 angle theta 3, where ICD is equal to I3 angle 0, IBC will be equal to I2 plus I3, and IAB will be equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Okay. So this way we will calculate the voltage drop in the distributor. So it depends whether or not the angle or the voltage at the load end is given to you beforehand. If it is given, then make use of that and do the exact analysis. Otherwise, the approximate method is to assume the currents with respect to the same reference. Okay. So this is about your AC distributor. That is how to handle the AC distributor. So we have two cases. If we summarize, VD is known, then current will be taken with respect to load voltage. Okay, VD is unknown, then current is taken with respect to common reference. So these two rules you must always remember. Now let us consider in what ways we can design a distribution system. So here I have shown a distribution system. This is my generator. These are 5 substation. SS refers to substation. Now if you see SS1, 2, 3 and 4, these are connected in a closed loop. This is called as ring distribution. Whereas if you see from SS5, all the loads are connected linearly or radially. So it is called as radial distribution. Now what is the problem in radial distribution? As we saw in the previous two cases, when the source is fed from one end, then as you move away from the source, there will be voltage drop in the line, and voltage will go on reducing as you move farther away from the source. So the load at the far end of the transmission line will always experience a lower voltage as compared to a load which is connected to near to the source. So that is why low voltages will be observed in case of a radial distribution. That is why other type of distribution is ring distribution, where such sort of low voltages can be minimized. Okay. So first let us talk about radial distribution. Okay. So in radial distribution, what we are doing is we are essentially supplying power from one substation. One substation is supplying power to all the loads. Okay. So what are the disadvantages? First of all, this load at C, it will have the least voltage. So as we keep on increasing the distance from the source, the voltage will go on reducing, and at some point or the other it will go out of the tolerance limit, because as I told you, in India the tolerance limit is plus minus 5%. So definitely as you go on increasing the distance, it will violate that tolerance limit. Now the other disadvantage is, suppose this line here breaks down, then neither the load B or C can be supplied. If ever there is a break in the line, then all the loads or all the supply will be interrupted. That is the disadvantage of the radial distribution. But what is the advantage? Since there is a single line between the source and the load, losses are minimum. Because if you increase the number of lines, then the losses will also increase. Okay, so here losses are minimum. Now, what about the ring distribution? In ring, we are connecting all the substations in a loop. Okay, so that is called as ring distribution. What is the advantage? Voltage drop is less. Okay, voltage drop is less as compared to your radial distribution, because if you are supplying current to SS5, it will go via this. It will also go like this. So the current will be distributed and hence the voltage drop will be lesser. Next is, suppose one of the transmission line breaks. Suppose this line breaks down. Then the current can be supplied to loads here like this. Supply can still be maintained. So that is why this your ring distribution is more reliable as compared to your radial distribution. You can even supply the loads just by a longer path, but the supply will be maintained. But the disadvantage, here to connect 4 substations we actually need 4 transmission line. Okay, but in case of radial, what would be the case? 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So you will only need 3 lines to connect 4 substations in a radial system. So hence in a ring distribution, number of lines are more. So it will have more losses as well as higher cost in a ring distribution as compared to radial. But that cost is compensated by the fact that it is more reliable as compared to your radial distribution. Now we saw, in case of radial distribution, one of the disadvantages, as we move away from the source, the voltage will go on decreasing. So that means radial distribution with source at only one end is not so useful. So what is the remedy? What we can do is, we need to supply the power at both the ends so that voltage drop is lesser. That is called as source fed from both ends. Now if you consider currents entering the distributor from both the ends, then it will be a complicated problem to analyze. So to simplify the problem, what we do is, we only assume current from one end, only assume IA. Okay. Now we know voltage at both the ends, VA and VB. Apply KVL first of all. If IA is the current here would be IA minus I1. Similarly here would be IA minus I1 minus I2. And here it will be IA minus I1 minus I2 minus I3. Just by KCL. Now if we apply KVL, VA minus VB should be IA minus I1 into R1. IA minus I1 minus I2 into R2, IA minus I1 minus I2 minus I3 into R3. Now here IA is unknown but VA and VB are known. So from here we can calculate IA. So IA can be calculated from this equation. Now once we know IA, I can calculate the current in each and every section, that is AC, CD and DB. I can calculate IAC, ICD, IDB. Now suppose I have been asked to determine the point wherever the voltage is minimum. Now suppose the voltage is minimum at point D. Then that means voltage at C is higher than D. Voltage at B is also higher than D. We know that the current will always flow from higher voltage to lower voltage. So ICD will flow like this and IBD will also flow like this. That means the direction of assumed current in this section will be reversed. So that means when we are calculating the current should come out negative. So point of minimum potential refers to the point where the current becomes negative. Okay. So when you have calculated the current IAC, ICD, IDB, you check for a sign change. If ever there is a sign change at any point, that point refers to the point of minimum potential. Otherwise, B will be the point of minimum potential. If there is a sign change, the point at which sign will change will give you minimum potential point. Otherwise, B will be the point of minimum potential. Then to calculate minimum potential, suppose you got that the point is D. Then VD you can calculate something like this: VA minus IAC into R1, ICD into R2. By applying KVL, you can calculate the minimum potential in a transmission line or in a distributor. Okay, so that is how you tackle the problem of a source fed from both the ends. Similarly, let us see how we can tackle the problem of ring distribution. So first of all, consider a ring distribution which has only a one source. Okay, so consider a current IA from here which completely goes into this section IA. So the current in this section will be IA minus I1. Here it will be IA minus I1 minus I2. Here it will be IA minus I1 minus I2 minus I3. Now if we apply KVL from A, B, C, D, A in this loop, so it will be IA into R1 plus IA minus I1 into R2 plus IA minus I1 minus I2 into R3 plus IA minus I1 minus I2 minus I3 into R4. Since initial and final point is same, potential difference is 0. Okay. So the only difference between the last problem and this problem is the left hand side of the equation, or the potential difference, will be equated to 0 in case of a ring distribution. Why? Because the initial as well as the final point is identical. Other than that, you will again check for a sign change to determine the point of minimum potential, and rest of the steps will remain same. But remember, in case of ring distribution we have considered a single source, whereas in case of radial we were considering source at both the ends of the line. Next, let us consider the case of a uniform distribution. Uniform distribution refers to the distribution system in which the current will be drawn at each point of the distributor. Okay, there are no discrete currents, there are continuous currents that are being drawn at each and every point of the line. Okay, so here I am considering resistance per unit length is R ohm per kilometer. Current that is being drawn is I ampere per kilometer. Okay, so here we have shown continuously current being drawn by the loads from the line, and total length of the line is L. Now suppose I current is being drawn. If I consider a point at distance x, so the length this will be L minus X. What will be the current that will be being drawn from this region? It will be I into L minus X, because current being drawn is I multiplied by the length is I into L minus X. So let us represent it by capital I to avoid confusion. Okay. Now by KCL, if the current in this section is I into L minus X, current here should be the same. So the current entering the region L minus X length should be equal to I into L minus X to satisfy KCL. What I am saying is, current delivered to the load in the section L minus X is equal to I into L minus X. So that much current must enter this region, because current entering must be equal to the current delivered to the load. So current entering in this region is I into L minus X. Then what is the voltage drop in this section dx? Current is L minus X. Resistance of this length will be R into dx. So what is the voltage drop? I L minus X into R dx, or we can say IR L minus X dx. To determine total voltage drop, we will integrate this dV, that is IR L minus X dx, where X will vary from 0 to L. So if we integrate this, what we will get is IR Lx minus x square by 2 from 0 to L, that is IR L square minus L square by 2. So IR L square by 2. This will be the total voltage drop in the distributor for the case of uniform distribution. Okay. So let us summarize what we covered in this distribution system. We first saw there are two types of distributors, DC and AC, and what are their uses. Then I told you the example of source fed from one end, and we also looked at an example of AC distributor, in which we saw two cases in which the load voltage was known as well as in which it was unknown. Then we saw types of distribution, that is radial and the ring distribution. Then we saw the case where source was fed from both ends, where both ends were connected to the source. Then we saw the case of ring distribution, how to find the minimum potential, and last we saw uniform distribution. Okay, so this is a very small topic, distribution system, and these are all the cases that can be asked in the GATE examination. So in the next lecture we will see a few problems that are based on this topic.
So my friend, if you want to join Unacademy, if you liked the lecture, if you like the content that you have just watched, and you have decided that Unacademy is the right place for you, and you want to learn with me, you want to learn from me, then don't hesitate, because that is where we are conducting free classes every day that will boost your GATE rank. So if you decide to take subscription, click on GATE and ESE, click on get subscription. After this, you can choose the plan that you want to opt for. The final year and dropper can take 1 year plan, second and the third year can take 2 year plan. But don't forget to use the code Ankit ESE. This will give you 10% off, as well as it will bring you under my guidance. And as you can see, the prices are really affordable, my friend. It is much less than any other institute can offer you, and that is why I keep repeating, Unacademy is not an academy. It is a revolution. It is a feeling. You can make the payment by credit, debit card, EMI, net banking. Also, EMI is available on debit card, but for HDFC debit card and Bajaj Finserv debit card. So if you are from a weak financial background, you can pay the amount in installments, but only use the code Ankit ESE. And my friend, these are some videos where I have told how to study, how to get the best rank in GATE, and these videos will really help you in cracking GATE. So make sure that you watch each and every one of them. And my friend, these are our other channels, like for mechanical we have, for civil also we have, For computer science we have for SSC JE all branches, electrical, mechanical, civil, and on this channel we have the previous year question video solution, that too free of cost. And many more channels will be coming very soon for you guys. So be a part of our YouTube family and you can take the benefit of all the free content that we are bringing. And my friend, this is my Telegram channel where you will find the notes of each and every lecture that I take. And this is my Unacademy profile which you can follow to watch my content for free on Unacademy, because there also I am taking regular free classes. So if you can't afford to join Unacademy, then keep associated with us, keep sharing the content that we are providing, and work towards making this YouTube family bigger and better. We'll keep bringing more and more content for you, and the only fees that you have to pay, my friend, is that you have to work hard and you have to share and like each and every video that we are uploading. So that way this family gets bigger. Even the student in a rural area can take the benefit of the free initiatives that we have started. And my friend, you also get the best rank in GATE without having to stress about how to pay. So if you can't be paying or you can't afford to pay, then make sure that you are building this YouTube family, a bigger and a better YouTube family, the biggest and the best community of all electrical engineers. So that is all from my side. See you again in the next lecture. Thank you.